Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, if you're new to my channel, my name's Vicky Marie. I report on true crime. I am based in Spain, but I talk about crimes all over the place. But this particular crime that I'm talking about in this video is the murder of John George, sometimes known as John Hardy, also Georgie to his friends. And this is a Spanish crime, although John himself is from Northern Ireland. Unfortunately, John, on a trip to Spain in unknown circumstances, I don't think all the details are known yet, John was murdered by people who were supposed to be his friends. And there's a lot of let's say names bandied around. There have been arrests, or an arrest anyway, but of people have been asked to go to court to make statements. These are not thought to be the main protagonist, the actual person who killed John, and there is a warrant out for this man's arrest. Apparently, and I say a warrant, there are 3 warrants. There's a Spanish warrant, a European warrant, and an international arrest warrant out for the perpetrator of John George's murder. Now, this is the poor family of John was subjected to a lot of torture, really, because they were told that John was dead, that he was dead, and they were given false information about where his body could be found. And they came over to Spain. So this all happened in December in 2024. His family came over to Spain, organised search parties to look for him. They searched for him for 3 weeks. But unbeknownst to them, they were actually searching in a completely wrong area. They'd been led astray. It just seems, it's bad enough what happened to John, but it just seems especially cruel, doesn't it, to then lead the family on a wild goose chase. So where was John? Anyway, he was finally found. The police rang up the family to give them it was horrible news, but they didn't know, I think, already that they were looking for a body, unfortunately, and not there, that John was no longer with us on this planet. But it would have been a shock anyway, to receive that news. But the only good thing about that news that they received is they were able to get John's body, repatriate it back to Northern Ireland, give him a dignified send-off. So now the question remains of justice for John. So, he's been found, he's been returned to his family. They know what happened to him, but they don't know how it happened. They don't know exactly who did it. It's all still up in the air. Now, my heart goes out to them, especially because they're dealing with this. This is something that happened in a foreign country. They've got a language barrier to deal with. The Spanish police, the Guardia, not only them, but the Policía Nacional, etc. They are efficient, but do you know what? They are difficult to deal with. Lots of people say, oh, they're corrupt and this, that, and the other. Well, the thing is, maybe they are. I mean, I don't know. Probably some of them are, like probably in any police force. But the thing is, with the Guardia Civil, what I've learned in 30 years of living in Spain and dealing with Guardia Civil, being an interpreter, which I was for many years. I haven't done it for a little while now, mainly concentrate on Spanish classes now. But occasionally I have to go and deal with the Guardia for clients. There's a way of dealing with them, and, like it or not, people can complain about maybe they shouldn't be like that. That's the way they are. I'm a great believer in dealing with things as they are. You're not going to change the Guardia by going and shouting at them or whatever. You're not going to change the way they function. Now, it could be right, it could be wrong. I think there's pluses and minuses for the way the Guardia are, but it is the way it is. This is how it is. These are the cards that you're dealt with if you have to deal with the Guardia Civil. So what I've found in the years that I've dealt with them is you can get them on your side. You should not alienate them. You should not, as frustrating as it is, and obviously it is frustrating because this family have lost their loved one. They want answers, of course they do. They probably can't understand why this person hasn't been apprehended yet. I don't know the reasons because, at the end of the day, the Guardia are secretive. They're not going to tell me that. They may say some things. You just don't know until you actually go and deal with them. You don't know. So the reason I made this video today is I decided, because I know that the family are thinking of coming back over. Oh, let's look at that first. So according to a Northern Irish newspaper reports, let's have a look. The family are intending to come back to Spain. Which originally they had thought that they would never want to come back to Spain, and I don't blame them, because it's not got positive memories for them, has it? Spent 3 weeks over Christmas and New Year as well, looking for their dead loved one. I mean, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? So they weren't intending to come back, but now apparently, according to the Belfast Telegraph, and I'm going to show you the TikTok that their reporter did. See what she says. So this is Alison. We followed Alison a couple of times. She's very good at giving information. Seems to have got to know the George family almost personally, really. Maybe she'll come back out and try and help, but of course, it's the language barrier again. And as Alison is a journalist, which apparently flagged up somehow on her passport, I doubt if the Guardia will speak to her, but she'd be a good moral support and to help the family for publicity in Ireland. And I just want to say, literally, if when the family come over, I don't like interjecting myself into people's private lives. I'm a YouTuber and I'm making the YouTube videos, etc., because I know the family want news to be spread about John, and they want. If I thought the family didn't want people to make YouTube's videos or TikToks, I wouldn't be doing them. Now, if I am quite happy to help as an interpreter, I would love to help them. If I can help them in any way, I would. But anyway, that's up to them to decide. So let's have a look at this.
Situation, as we know, John George was murdered in. Hi, I'm Melissa Morris and I'm a crime reporter. So an update on the John George situation. As we know, John George was murdered in December. He'd been in Spain for a few days. He'd been visiting people he believed to be friends. And during that time, something has went wrong and he has ended up murdered. His family went to Spain in December, ran a very high profile campaign, and his body was eventually recovered by the Spanish authorities, returned to Belfast. There was a funeral. I was at the funeral. There was standing room only at that. Thousands of people came to their homes to pay their respects during the wake period, but they did have to have a closed coffin because he was missing for 3 months before his body, or for 3 weeks, before his body was recovered. It's now been 2 months, so it's been 2 months since his murder, and the person believed to have killed him is still on the run along with an accomplice. And the thought is that they wouldn't be able to do that if they were not getting assistance, both financial in terms of car rental and rent properties and things from people here in Northern Ireland. The family are becoming increasingly frustrated. One man, Michael Malley, who's from the Czech Republic, is assisting the Spanish authorities. He is on bail as an accomplice, as someone who assisted in the murder, but not the murderer himself, who is believed to be a man from Northern Ireland who had been living in Spain. The family, I sat down with them in their home this week, and they're getting increasingly frustrated because they had thought by now, obviously, that this alleged killer would have been arrested and would have been put before the Spanish courts. And while they had came back from Spain after John's body was recovered, they did say that they would never not return until there was a trial. They're now saying that we're going to have to go back again because we just don't feel enough is being done. And also the last time they felt they were told that John had been found near a certain place and it was the wrong location, and they want to go back and lay flowers and pay their respects at the spot where their son's body was recovered. So ongoing, by now you would have expected someone to be charged. These people cannot stay on the run forever, with technology, with facial recognition in airports, all of that. It's almost impossible to move around the world without being located. Eventually they will have to surface and come up eventually, and they will be arrested. But in the meantime, you can imagine how frustrating this is for the family of Mr. George, who are just trying to process their grief. Up until now, I don't think they've had a chance to, because everything has been such a whirlwind. And that is basically the update that they're saying to me, is that if there is no movement in the next few days, that they're going to start looking at going back to Spain and maybe trying to retrace their son's steps and see what they can find out while they're there. Hi, I'm Wilson Morris and I'm a crime reporter.
Now,
sorry, an update on the John George situation.
I'm trying to stop it now, I can't stop it. Sorry, Alison, didn't mean to cut you off, but we've watched it, so yeah. So this is where we are now. I don't know if you noticed on there when Alison was speaking, there's quite a few nasty comments. I expect I'll get nasty comments on here, because some people are judgmental on John's lifestyle. John wasn't an angel. His family said that right from the beginning. And what I've noticed is, because I've just recently got more into TikTok than I was before. And, if you think YouTube trolls are bad, TikTok is brutal, mostly with the creators between themselves. But anyway, so, this is something when you're on social media, you just have to put up with. And for these families, not only for the George family, Hardy family as well, this is a sort of a choice you take, isn't it? You go on social media for help. And social media can be the best thing in the world, and it can be the worst thing in the world. And unfortunately, you do have to take the good with the bad. And if you get any of the bad, it's just ignore, block. What else can you do? People sometimes, as far as I'm concerned, I just think, sometimes I go on social media and I see things that I don't like. And I just scroll on to the next thing, unless it's really like something that I think should be reported, like abuse or something like that. But generally, just, you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say anything. That's what I'd say. I know a lot of people will criticize John, and we've been through this before. I spoke about it. I know, as his family does. He wasn't an angel, but do you know what? That doesn't take away from the fact that he was brutally murdered, and this family have been through hell trying to find him. So as this is what sort of prompted my trip to the Guardia Civil this morning, because while I think it is a good idea for the family to come out, maybe try and speak to the Guardia or try and get some information, etc. Maybe they're going to try and make some inquiries themselves about this person. I think, and it's a genuine, heartfelt, because I want this family to get justice. It's genuine and heartfelt what I'm going to say. Just be careful not to alienate the Guardia Civil or any of the police that might end up with dealing with. There's a way of dealing with them. You can get them on your side, or you can alienate them. And if you alienate them, this is a different world to Britain, as far as the police are concerned, etc. The Guardia are not interested in presenting, a good publicity face to the world. Not really. I mean, they have their, comms people, and they do, but it's not a question of they're worried about how the public think of them, and I'm talking about the Spanish public too. Don't think either that you're being treated differently because you're foreign. That is not true. And that is people that I know that have been involved with cases before. Doesn't matter if you're Spanish, English, Colombian or from Timbuktu. The Guardia treat every case the same. They're secretive. They're very, very reluctant to give information. The court hearings, etc., are very secretive. Even after people have been found guilty, it's still very difficult to find out information about cases, etc. There's no transparency. If you think Britain's not very transparent, America is really transparent, isn't it, in general? And then you've got Britain, which is sort of transparent after someone's been found guilty. You're talking about a country where nothing's transparent, and as I say, it might not be right. It's just the way it is. That's the way it is. You can't change the way it is, but what you can do is get them on your side. That's what I found. You get them on your side, it makes life a lot easier. They're much more prepared to give away as much information as they can, etc. So I'm just giving a heartfelt plea to the family to do that. If you do go and contact actually the police, if you're going out there to make your own inquiries, etc., well, that's fine, but don't alienate the Guardia Civil, because you need them. And I said this about Dan McMeekin as well. You can work with the Guardia, but they will not be treated like fools. They just won't. So anyway, less of that. So yeah, that's what prompted me to go down there today to make this video, because I honestly hope for justice for this family. I think, those 3 weeks they went through searching for their son just must have been awful. And now, of course, the funeral's over. It must be a sort of weird feeling, isn't it? Because their whole raison d'etre, it was all about find John, bring John home. Now they brought John home, unfortunately in a body bag, and then he's been buried. What do they do now? They're still left frustrated because nobody's been held to account for killing him. So there you go. That's where they are, and that's what made me. I thought I'm going to go down to the Guardia Civil, try and talk to them a little bit. Maybe it's unfortunate. A few years ago, I actually knew a lot of them personally there, but of course they've changed now, and they're very young. But they still be the same. Talk to them in a respectful manner and you'll get the most back from them. But you have to listen to what they're saying and treat them properly. Anyway, so where am I going to start? So I've put that down. Let me just put a window down. So what was the next thing? Oh, so first of all, I want to show you. So the other purpose of the video was to show the family where this case is being dealt with. So, because this is quite strange. It'll probably surprise people because if we have a look at this, so this is up here at Jisk, and if the family or anyone that was there helping to search for John, you'll remember there was a Jisk and an Aldi next to the apartments where John was possibly killed. But anyway, where he ran from. That apartment that you all know about, and where a lot of your searches were done from the beginning. So that is where it happened. Now, the police station that is dealing is in this place called Torre de la Horadada. And it's not miles away, but it depends if you go on the AP7, you can go on the motorway, or I don't go on the motorway. Much. I go along the coast road, but literally it's about 20 minutes it would take you. It says it would take 2 hours 53 minutes. No, it doesn't take 2 hours 53 minutes. Where are they getting that from? Just Scorrawella to Torridor. How can that possibly be 2 hours 53 minutes? Let's have a look at. I've got another one open here. It might be better. So This is where Jusk is, in Dream Hills. There's the Aldi, the Jusk. As I say, the family will probably know that. Now, if you were... Oh, God, I can't make it. I can't... Oh, it's not letting me... Ah, there you go. So you'd come along the AP7 or follow the coast road. And it is, let's see, so that's Lasagna. You come past Lasagna. It's about 20 minutes away. That's Cabaroy. So you would go down. I mean, obviously you can find directions on the website, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And you would come down past Camper Moor, which is where you were searching for a while. Mil Palmeiras, keep along the coast, keep along the coast. Playa de las Villas. I think it's here somewhere. Playa del... I have come too far. Torre de la Horadada is round about this area. Ah, there it is. Guardia Civil, Puesto Principal. Now, this is what might confuse people a little bit, because in the Orihuela Costa, there is a Guardia Civil at the town hall, but that is like a subsidiary of the main Guardia Civil, which is this one, Puesto Principal, the main Puesto, the main, I'm trying to think how to say that, the main station, if you like, of Pilar de Horadada, and it's right here on the coast, and we're going to have it's in a very nice place. So it's about 20 minutes, not 2 hours. I'm not sure. I mean, you can see the map better. Oh, because that's walking. Oh, good. I'm thinking, how can that be? How can that take all those hours? Is because I've got it on walking. Yeah, it's only 16 minutes. So don't worry, it's not going to take you 3 hours to get to. So yeah, via the AP7, which is the fastest route, but there are tolls. Or you can come along the coast road, there's no tolls. And that's only a couple of minutes longer. That's why I don't. You find that most people that live here don't use the toll roads much, don't use the AP7. Or at least, sorry, I forgot to share. Don't use the toll road so much, because you don't have to. You can go the longer way, a little bit longer, but at this time of year, there's no traffic anyway. So that's where I went this morning. I thought I'm going to go try and show them where it is. So let's have a look at the actual, no, it's saying 26 minutes there. I think it's probably is 26 minutes. Well, they're saying on the AP7 it isn't. I think it takes it. I think you should think it's about 20 minutes really from there, 25 minutes. But yeah, there are longer ways, or the shortest way is the motorway, but you have to pay the tolls, or you can come longer ways. But it's quite easy to find. So. Okay, so let's just put that down and let's go to the actual police station. So this is where I went. So here it is. So you can see how beautiful it is. I mean, I've taken some video that I'm going to show you in a moment, but I suppose really I could have just come on here. But it's a beautiful sort of area to have a police station. It looks small, but this is the main police station for the Orihuela Costa. Now, it's interesting about Spanish Guardia Civil. They're called cuartels, the police stations. And see these houses here, they will live there. The Guardia Civil that work at this station, they get a house allocated to them, family, and, they'll have their kids there. I don't think they have to live there. I think that's a choice. But yeah, Casa Cuartel. So you go in here through this door and you've got like a little office with a reception, with a Guardia Civil at the reception. And then there's lots of other rooms off it, and the sergeant's got an office, and But also the cells are there as well, which is quite interesting because, I think in the UK, you'd have your cells at your local police, a small cell, at least one, if not a few, at a local police station. And that's the same here. But also the police live there as well. So it's quite unusual. So the Guardia will live in those houses at the back there. There'll be a cell in there that they'll keep people if they need to. I mean, not for long term. If it's for long term, they'll probably take them to another, maybe up to Torrevieja or Orihuela town itself, where there's bigger places to keep them. But there's definitely cells there where they could keep somebody overnight or for a few hours. And also you can see the cells. It's quite strange really, because if you're in there in the reception, you can see somebody who's in the cells or whatever. So yeah, it's a funny place really when I think about it. I never thought about it when I used to go there years ago. You have to go with an interpreter to the Guardia Civil. They can sometimes arrange an interpreter for you, but they will not see you without an interpreter. Okay, you have to go with an interpreter. No point in going without an interpreter. We've got signs up everywhere saying come with an interpreter. Now, if you go to the Guardia Civil in Torrevieja, they have I think they have an interpreter on site, but not at this one. Okay, so yeah, and actually, if you went you'll see in a minute. I walked down here. You've got this lovely. No, it's right on the coast, right on the sea. Nice walkways here. I did feel safe there today because I think if you feel, if you're right next to the Guardia Civil walking your dogs, you would hope you'd be safe. But also, there's a lot of people walking along there. It's not solitary, not even this time of year. And in the summer, it's packed. I parked up here somewhere. This is the actual tower, because it's called Torre de la Horadada. Torre means tower. So Horadada, there's these two places. There's the tower and the Pilar de la Horadada, that's over the other side. Anyway, sorry, that's just a bit of local knowledge. So yeah, if you need to park. I think only the Guardia are allowed to park here. That would probably be the people who live there in these flats that would park there. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I was recording there. Yeah. So you can normally park. I don't think they're not allowed to park there. I parked here. There's normally some parking there or up this road or here, but not here. You're not allowed to park. You'll see the Guardia Civil vehicles. You're not allowed to park near any police station. That's a throwback to the days of ETA and the terrorists who were bombing Guardia Civil stations, especially in areas like this, where there's a lot of foreign people, because they were trying to make a statement that would get reported on the foreign news as well, not just the Spanish news. So in the Alicante region in general, there were quite a lot of bombings when ETA was about. Anyway, there's been a ceasefire for a long time and there are no ETA terrorists. So yeah, here's more. I'm not saying there aren't any terrorists, but there's a ceasefire and there has been for quite a while. So we've got garages here, which I presume is where their vehicles are kept. Again, the houses where the police live. Yeah, but as far as police stations go, as I think I've said before, and I think I say in my video, if you were going to be in the Guardia Civil and you're going to be stationed somewhere, you'd quite want to be stationed there, wouldn't you? And the other thing about the Guardia, that they don't get paid very much, just to let you know. Now, there has been an injection of money into the Guardia over the last 10 years. But, when I first came here, they were notoriously badly paid. All their vehicles were in disrepair. It was like a very critical time, but seem to have had an injection of cash. And our current Prime Minister, who Pedro Sanchez, he does seem to have. I don't know if he's popular with the Guardia himself, but because he's not popular with everybody, but he definitely injected a lot of cash into the Guardia Civil, or either he did, or he's given it to the independent autonomous regions who've done it. So yeah, they've got much more modern vehicles now. There's much more police now. Because don't forget, it's not only the Guardia Civil, there's the Policía Nacional and the Policía Local. We have 3 police bands, if you like, here. So, I think one thing Spain is definitely not short of is police. Okay, so let's put that down. So what I want to share with you now are the videos that I took this morning, and and then you'll find out what happened. Let's see.
Hey, it's me.
So this first one, for some reason, this is just me sat in the car saying that I'm going. But there was a little bit of an interference on I was just doing this on my phone, and my phone is rubbish. So I'm pleased, to be honest, it's turned out as well as it does.
Vicky Marie. So, I've decided this morning just to go off to the Guardia Civil station that is dealing with the John George case. I'm going to take a little video there just so that the family, because apparently the family are thinking of coming over, so they'll know where to go. This is, so I can take some video footage. I may go in and try and talk to somebody. I haven't decided that yet. Guardia are quite scary. Look, I've got my little team with me. I haven't decided, but I'm going to go take a little bit of footage there, show them sort of where it is, and that's where I think they should go when they come out, if they come out, if they haven't received any information before then, and if they want to sort of try and get some information, it's worth trying there. But the thing is, please, if you do go, make sure you take someone with you who knows how to deal with the Guardia, because the Guardia are not easy to deal with. So, doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, that's just the way it is. That's what, everyone's up against, or what what the family especially are up against. Riley protecting me. Sorry, Rocky. So, yeah, they may give information, they may not. It's likely that they won't, unfortunately, until, maybe the suspect is apprehended or whatever. But anyway, it's always worth a try, of course, to ask. But to get them on your side, you need them, to me, you need the Guardia on your side. And the Guardia will, they are difficult to deal with, but they can be brought on your side. So anyway, we'll see. There's a little dog going past there, so they're having a little bark at that. So yeah.
So I just want to say, because when I first started interpreting at the Guardia many, 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 many years ago, I hadn't been here that long. And, I was speaking Spanish, but it wouldn't have been as good as my Spanish is now. I was learning Spanish. I'd got to it, I'd been here for 2 years, I think, when I started interpreting. I'd got to a point, I'm not saying, that I was good enough to teach Spanish, but going to the Guardia, they're so suspicious as well. So, you go into the Guardia office and I swear they speak quickly on purpose. I've learned why since then, because there are many, many bogus interpreters out there, people who pretend they can speak Spanish, but actually they can't. And unfortunately, unsuspecting victims, people who are robbed or something happens to them and they, oh yeah, Johnny down the road, he does it. It's like he's an interpreter, or people say, oh, I'm an interpreter. They're not, they can't hardly even speak Spanish. And I've realised that over these years since a bit. So I was going literally to the Guardia Civil office because at the time it was in the 2000s, early 2000s, the building boom, there were a lot of robberies, lots. I mean, literally maybe 3 times a week I'd be down there with people who'd been robbed, because when you're robbed, obviously you have to make a statement. And I've been there and heard people come in and they don't speak a word of Spanish, but they're representing themselves as an interpreter for someone. I was there once with someone who'd had their car stolen. And this guy was in front of us with his client, who was quite an elderly man, bless him. And this guy said, oh, leave it to me. He said to his client, leave it to me, I'll sort it out. And he went up to it's like a reception with like a glass window. And he started trying to talk to the Guardia there, who just looked at him because his Spanish was terrible. You couldn't understand a word he was saying. And this Guardia Civil guy just looked at him and pointed at the sign at the side that said, bring an interpreter with you. You must bring an interpreter with you. And he said to him, look, the Guardia said to this guy in Spanish, you've got to come back with an interpreter. Well, he was supposed to be the interpreter. So he turned around then to the elderly guy that he was supposed to be representing and said, oh, they're really busy today, so they can't take a statement. We've got to come back some other time. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Anyway, I've seen that many times, not only at the Guardia, in the doctors, etc. So I was going to the Guardia for about a year, and I always got my statement, for my client made, and no problem. But it was always nerve-wracking, to say the least. They never made it easy for me. They're very stern, or they seem that way. It was like, hostile, I would say, quite hostile. Seeing that this guy, whoever I was taking was a victim of a crime, I would say they were hostile. And then one day, just one of them turned to me and he said, you come here a lot, don't you? What's your name? And that was it. It was no more difficulties with them. I would see them sometimes out and about. That's when I got to know the sergeant there. I would see them out and about in restaurants and things, and they'd come over, give me a big kiss, because the Spanish do this, 2 kisses, 2 on each side. And I, honest to God, they treated me from then on so well. So that's why I'm saying, I mean, they're different people at that police station now, because the last time probably I was really going often was quite a few years ago, maybe up to 10 years ago. But they'll still be the same to deal with, just they take a little while to get to know you. They seem very stern and very unhelpful. But there's a way of dealing with them. But anyway, I could say that till I'm blue in the face. I hope people are listening to me. Anybody out there, if you ever have to have any dealings with the Guardia, just, be nice to them or cry. Crying works quite often. But not always. It depends. And also it depends that you do get some that are harsher than others. I suppose that'd be the same in any police force in the world, wouldn't it? You get some who are more sympathetic than others. But there's something unique about the Guardia that you have to remember. They're like armed police, really. They're more than police. It's hard to explain. It's really hard to explain. But it's just the way it is.
Anyway, I'm going up there. I'll take some footage from there, definitely. I'm going to take these 2 vandals for a walk up there. It's a beautiful place, actually. It's Pilar de la Horadada. It's right on the beach, this Guardia Civil station. And I read in the Spanish news that that's the station. They're the main station for that area, for the Orihuela Costa, believe it or not. still quite a small police station, but they're the station that are dealing with this. Okay, so I'll speak to you in a bit. Okay, so after a very what's the word? I've forgotten what it's like on a Sunday driving in Spain. Lots of cyclists, lots of motorcycles, and lots of domingueros, which are like Sunday drivers. Anyway, I'm here. Now, as you can see, this place, which is actually called Torre de la Horadada, is a beautiful, beautiful place, a little fishing harbour here. The actual police station is just there. You might be able to see a Guardia Civil. I don't know how to zoom in, but there's a Guardia Civil. That is the police station there, that brick building. And I'm going to get my dogs out in a minute.
So I just want to say, not those flats there, but this building here. Is that it? Hang on, let's go back.
Okay, so after a very what's the word? I've forgotten what it's like on a place, which is actually called Torre de la. I don't know how to zoom in, but there's a Guardia Civil.
That's the Guardia Civil here, not this. These are just blocks of flats. And there was, you can't actually see it, that I'm just rubbish at zooming in and things. But yeah, there was a police cruiser parked outside.
That is the police station there, that brick building. And I'm going to get my dogs out in a minute, take them for a little walk, and then I'm going to go and see if I can get anyone to talk to me. So yeah, this is Torre de la Horadada. There's two towns.
Oh, and I just want to say, if you feel like you've got any information to offer this case, that is the number of the Guardia Civil, 062. Having said that, if you don't speak Spanish, you're probably better to ring 112, which is the national Spanish number. And 112, you will get someone who can speak English. I doubt very much if you'll get someone who can speak English on the 062. I'm just thinking about, actually, it might be a good idea, you know, to put an appeal out in Spanish, because I did do a Spanish video, didn't I, about when they were looking, when John was being looked for. But maybe a good idea to put one out now, see if anyone's got any information. You know, I do think Spanish people are not being included enough in this.
There's Pilar de la Horadada, which is like the pueblo, and Torre de la Horadada, which is the beach side of the main road. Quite often get that in Spain. You have, you know, two parts of the same town. One will be the beach side, that's where most of the foreigners tend to live, you know, or people with holiday homes. And then Pilar de la Horadada is the pueblo, where perhaps most Spanish people would live. So yeah, it's, I'm trying to turn the camera around, you know, I'm not very good with stuff like this anyway.
So that's just a photo of the harbour.
So yeah, I think because the trouble is I hate filming when it's sunny because my phone is absolute rubbish.
Well, I hate filming anyway because I'm not, you know, it's not what I'm good at. But also, it's so sunny, you can see, and when it's in your eyes, you can't even see the phone.
But I hate filming when it's sunny because I can't see a thing. I hope you can see me okay. I hope I don't look too horrendous. And yeah, I'm going to get the dogs out now and take them for a walk. Okay, so this is... Hang on. I'm trying to get behind me. I'm trying to get this.
Just rubbish. Sorry,
that is, I think you can see it. Quick. Oh, drop my sunglasses.
Yeah, drop my sunglasses off. Because I bent my head back so far my sunglasses fell off. Anyway,
so that is the Torre de la Horadada, the tower. That's what that means, Torre de la.
So in the end, I just turned it round. But also, so you can see the beach there. That's a photo that I took while I was there. It's funny because it was so lovely, and yet on this one, it looks like the sky's sort of darker, but it wasn't. The sky was like this.
Horadada.
These were photos that I took. Yeah, how weird is that?
So I've just been in there. So that is the Torre de la Horadada, the tower. That's what that means, Torre de la Horadada.
How weird is that? So when I took the picture of the Guardia Civil, the sky's blue, and look at the sky there. What? How weird. That looks like 2 different days, but it wasn't. Both those photos were taken this morning. How strange.
Hey, so I've just been in there and, you know, very helpful. Well, helpful, but not helpful. Spoke to the Guardia, young guy, explained to him, you know, that I was just wondering if there's any way the family could get any information about the case, and he said it'd have to be tomorrow morning because he hasn't got access on a Sunday to the sort of records of what's going on. So he didn't say no, but he didn't say yes either. It's something about you have to wait till tomorrow, so it must be Monday to Friday when the judicial people are there. So he said, yeah, tomorrow morning to come back. So I'm going to try my best. If I can't go back tomorrow morning because I've got classes, I will hopefully be able to go back one day in the week. So at least I know now, or you know now, if the family are watching this when you come, you know, this is definitely where you need to come to speak. This is the police station that is dealing with this case. So I just want to talk a little bit about the police station, actually.
So before that, I just want to say, so let me talk about what the guy, he was very nice, helpful. I'd say he was only in his late 20s, something like that. And then another guy came out while I was talking to him, and they were both talking to me. Very approachable. He sort of looked, I explained to him why I was there. I just said, look, you know, there's a family here, a family over in Northern Ireland, and, you know, their family member was killed. They just would like to know if there's been any progress, or is there any information you can give on the case? And he didn't say no straight off, which intrigues me really, because, you know, in my experience, if they're not going to give you any information, they just say no, you know, they don't bother going any further than that. But he seemed to look at his computer, and I thought, oh, and then he said, oh, no, I can't get any access. That's it, how he put it. I can't get any access. So you need to come tomorrow morning, he said. That's what he said. Come tomorrow morning to get access. And I'm not sure if he said that that's the only time they can get access to judicial proceedings, which is sort of good, because that meant that maybe he would have said something at least about it. I don't know what he would have said or wouldn't have said. It's unusual for them to give any information, but maybe he would have just perhaps said, oh yeah, there's these warrants out. So I explained to him about it, and I said there were warrants out. Anyway, so he seemed to try and look, and then he said, oh no, I can't get any access. That was his exact words. I can't get any access, so you need to come back tomorrow. So that's positive really, because he didn't just tell me to bugger off, you know, because you know, he could quite easily have said that and just said no, you know. But anyway, that's basically what happened. Then another lad came along, and I say lad, I mean, he was a man, you know, he's in his late 20s. And they both were saying to me, oh, sorry. And they said, sorry, can't, you know, we just can't get any access. We don't know what to tell you. And yeah. So, and I just said, oh, it's just, you know, with the family being so far away in Northern Ireland, it's difficult for them because they don't know how things are going. He just said, yeah, that's fine, but come back tomorrow. So it was like, yes, I'm being helpful, but I'm not being helpful. But yeah, so, or if any of the family are watching and they're thinking of coming over, if you go to the Guardia Civil there at Torre de la Horadada, take an interpreter. Not only an interpreter, but somebody who knows how to deal with the Guardia. That's 2 different things. I don't know if you've got a solicitor dealing with things here for you, or I don't know, you know, I did read on the Facebook page that you did have an interpreter. So, you know, that's good, but so difficult, and it must be so frustrating for you, because when everything's got to go through an interpreter, it's awful, isn't it? Because you don't really get to know what's happening. I don't know, but and yeah, understanding the way the Guardia Civil are, I know it must be absolutely awful. Honestly, my heart breaks for you or anybody else who has to go through that. It's bad enough going through, you know, what you're going through, and then having to deal with sort of difficult Guardia Civil. But in my experience, you can get them on your side. So, okay. So then I just was going on to talk a little bit about the police station.
Well, actually, I think I'll talk about that when I put the video together at home. Okay, thanks, bye. I'm off home now. Dogs have been walked. I feel like I've tried to do something constructive. You know, you always want to help in these cases. And often you can't do anything, but maybe this won't lead to anything. But it's something I expect for the family. Just something is better than nothing, isn't it? Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
So then, on my way out of the place, I decided I was going to try my very first TikTok live, which, yeah, I did it, and it was difficult. I couldn't see the screen at all, so I couldn't make out comments or anything. That's because of the sun and everything. I expect some of the comments were nice. I saw some hearts flying up. Some of the comments were probably nice, and some of them probably weren't nice. You know, I think, as I say, one thing I've learned about TikTok is if you think YouTube's full of trolls, TikTok is literally brutal. But you know what? It doesn't matter.
Evening. This is my very first TikTok live. I had to prove how old I was. It was very disappointing that when they...
Oh yeah, that was funny. I had to prove that I was over 18. So it takes a photo of you, does a facial recognition where it decides if you're over 18 or not. And unfortunately for me, it accepted my photo as over 18.
Took the facial picture. They believed my age. I was hoping they'd say, no, you can't be that age. Anyway, they didn't. So just a quick video. I thought I'd do it on TikTok live because I've been meaning to practice this. I want to turn the camera around now, but I don't know how to do it while I'm actually on live. But
yeah, so I started off that way, and then suddenly I thought, oh, I want to turn it around, but I didn't know how to do it. So I didn't want to stop and start again. So it was a total, you know, just a first experiment of TikTok live. What was the other thing I was going to say about it? I will do more TikTok lives as time goes on. You know, I'm just getting into TikTok a little bit. You know, and I've got like nearly 500 followers now, so that's good. Hopefully I'll be able to grow that. I mean, TikTok's a funny place. Like, you don't make any money on TikTok. You know, people think, I don't know, but why do people think content creators are really rich or making loads of money? It's ridiculous. But anyway, those people normally, they have no idea themselves. So I don't know how people make a living, you know, for like TikTok creators. Some people only do TikTok, don't they? So I have no idea how they make a living off it or whatever. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they just do it because they like it. I don't know. Doesn't matter really, but it's fun.
Anyway, I'm here in Pilar de la Horadada I've just been into the Guardia Civil office that is dealing with the case of John George, and I've taken some videos, and not in the Guardia Civil office because obviously you're not allowed to do that, but I've taken some videos.
Oh my God, they'd have a fit if you got a phone out and started recording in there. My God.
Of the area, I've got a little bit of information. I'm going to go back now and make a video, you know, to tell everybody what's happened, because I do feel with the John George case, you know, recently we've heard that the family are thinking of coming back out to Spain, try and get some information, and I just wanted to show them, you know, I'll be showing them where the place is, because it's not where you would think that would be dealing with this case at all. Anyway, I've just been in there. I have spoken to them. They were very nice. The thing with the Guardia is you do have to know how to deal with them. Now, I may not end up getting no information out of them whatsoever, but you know what, it's always worth a try. And anyway, I'm going to tell you all about it when I get back home. I'm going to put all the video clips together that I've made. I don't know how TikTok live works. Is this gone once you come off it, or is it stored? I have no idea. It's the very first TikTok live I've ever done.
So what I learned is, I think it disappears off TikTok, but you can download it for up to a month after. So that's how I've managed to put it on here.
And yeah, so I just wanted to tell you that. I'm going to go home now, put the video together, and I will release it later on YouTube and on TikTok. So yeah, thanks. Gosh, it's quite oh, thank you. Someone's sending hearts. Thank you so much, because I literally have got no clue about TikTok live. So yeah, thank you. I don't even know how to turn it off, to be honest. I don't know how to turn it off. I don't know how to turn it round so that you can see me.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of disaster at the end because I couldn't turn it off because I couldn't see it to see the instructions properly because of the sun. So in the end, I tried to turn it off once. In the end, I actually had to turn my phone off.
I'm just having a look. Of course, the sun's shining. So I hate to tell you, if you're not in Spain, it is a beautiful day today. The sun's shining. I'm going to show you where this police station is and what a lovely sort of area it is. I mean, if you were going to be a Guardia Civil, you definitely want to be posted to this police station. And it's a shame it wasn't a few years ago in a way, because I used to know actually the sergeant there, and I think I didn't see him in there, though he could be in there somewhere. And they, of course, they're all young ones now. It's been a long time since I've been to this police station, many years. So I probably wouldn't know anyone there. Those two guys that I've just spoken to, you know, they say, you know, you're getting older when the policemen look younger. They looked about 12. But anyway, so thank you. Bye. Oh, I don't, well, I'm saying bad. I have no clue how to turn it off. No idea.
That's my dog
How do I
digging
do
the
that?
seat at the
How
back.
do I turn it off? Let me see. Sorry, I'm going to have to turn my phone off because I don't know how to actually turn it off. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you.
Yeah.
To turn my phone off because I don't know how to actually turn it off. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you. Actually turn it off. But anyway, thank you for watching.
I don't know why it keeps repeating.
Thank you. Oh God, I think I'm still on.
I should have a bloopers channel, shouldn't I? There's lots of bloopers in my videos. Yeah, why is it repeating like that? I'm not sure. In the end, I just had to turn the phone off completely. It keeps, yeah, it's playing sort of on a loop for some reason, these last bits. It's intriguing. Anyway, intriguing for me to sort of watch that. So, anyway, I hope that gave you a laugh. I'm sure John had a sense of humour. To see me sort of trying to cope with TikTok like a granny would, you know, be funny. But anyway, I'll get better at it as time goes on. But yeah, so the most important thing for me, the purpose of this video was to show John's family, or anyone who's interested in watching. Of course, a lot of people are invested in John's case. You know, a lot of people care about John, care about his family. So just give him some idea of the police station, etc. So thank you for watching. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God, as always, go with you. Thank you so much.
Bye.